Hello, welcome back to CNN World Sport on International Women's Day. A good opportunity for us to tell you about a new motor racing series that won't have a single male driver in sight. The new W Series launches in May and will see 18 women compete in 6 races across Europe. Before that, there is a second stage of qualifying after the initial 54 drivers selected were cut down to 28. The W Series is already proving controversial, with critics claiming it encourages segregation in a sport where men and women can compete equally. However, W Series organisers say their championship could help solve the problem of a lack of female competitors. At the highest level, around 900 people have driven in Formula One. Only 2 of them have been women. And crucially, the W Series will pay for their drivers to race. I spoke to aspiring driver Esmee Hawkey and W Series boss Catherine Muir, who says the problem is cultural and is perpetuated by a lack of female role models.
You look to see what you can do when you're young, and if you don't have role models, you don't think motorsport is a prospect for you. But I think all that is certainly starting to change, and there are lots of initiatives going on around the world to encourage in motorsport, and W Series just being a high-profile one at the moment.
And what have the attitudes been like towards you? Have you experienced any sexism?
I've definitely experienced a lot of sexism throughout my whole career of racing. I think it started from a very young age in karting, and it took a while to gain the respect of the male kind of sports people in the karting industry. And once I was winning some races, they soon had to be like, OK, girls can do this, and she's pretty good. So, yeah, after that, the sexism kind of was out the window.
Let's deal with some of the criticism, because there has been some. Pippa Mann, former IndyCar driver who's raced in the Indy 500, is one. Let's show you guys a tweet that she sent out when this came about. She said, "What a sad day for motorsport. Those with funding to help female racers are choosing to segregate them as opposed to supporting them. I am deeply disappointed to see such a historic step backwards take place in my lifetime." What's your reaction to that sort of criticism?
Our argument is that if we were segregating, we would be preventing female drivers from racing against the men. All we are is a platform to immediately put 18 drivers onto the grid in single-seater cars. And you can count in the last few years the numbers of women all over the world who are racing in single-seater series. And in fact, there are fewer women now racing in them than there were years ago. So the situation is not improving. So we're an artificial device in order to make more women race.
So your hesitation about getting into motor racing was purely because you couldn't see any women doing it?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's giving a big push on the younger generation and smaller children getting into karting, and then they can move up and have a platform that they can set as a goal, and then that goal for us is to then kind of push for Formula One.
Is there any reason why women cannot drive as fast as men in motor racing?
I believe there's no reason women can't drive as fast as men. I think we're just as capable, and I think, as we've seen on stage before, with women competing against men in different categories, we've beat them before. So it's now just kind of getting the numbers up and getting more women into motorsport and beating the men.
You talked earlier about proving the men wrong. I'm just worried whether you think some of that competitive edge might go if you don't have that obstacle.
For sure not. I think everyone competing is just as... They're all trying to win races. Whether you're up against men or women, everyone's trying to get to the front of the grid. Everyone's trying to win that race. So I think the competition never goes whether you're against men or women. For me, I just want to win.
Her dad got her into racing, and Esmee said, "But women don't race in motorsport, Dad." And he said, "You can." Nice story. Now,